Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Common Sense Guys channel. How are we all doing today? As you probably tell by the title, we are going to be talking about the controversy that has surrounded, apparently, Bianca Williams, the sprinter of Great Britain, being pulled over with her partner Ricardo and her 3 to 4 month-year-old son. Now, I don't necessarily agree with the complete and utter conduct of the police. For instance, I don't actually agree with the conduct of not letting the mother or somebody attend to the child for up to 30 to 45 minutes by alleging that that's what happened. Not being able to see that child for that length of time or sort that child out for that length of time. I have my own personal gripes about that. But overall, I think that we need to have a objective look at this and have a look at this from the opinion of the police as well as Bianca Williams and so on and so forth. So before we go any further, please like, share and subscribe, all of that good stuff for this video and for the channel. Kick the algorithm in the nuts, let everybody know what's going on so we can have a conversation about it rather than screaming racist at each other. Let's get into the video, shall we? So I wanted to start this video off by actually going through what Commander Helen Harper actually had to say about this, and actually going through the situation through Helen Harper's actual understanding after she's actually gone through body cam footage, police cam footage, as well as social media footage. So she's had all of the footage, understanding where the police are coming from, understanding where the people are coming from, the why that they have been stopped, so on and so forth. I want to start off with that context so that we understand that when we go through this video of Bianca Williams explaining what she felt that nothing that they did was wrong, in some instances probably not entirely true, and there was reasons why the police would have stopped them, like turning right, turning left to get off of main roads while being followed by the police, maybe even not stopping when being asked to, as in blue lights, evading arrest. However short the distances that Bianca Williams claims that they travelled, is still failing to stop for the police when asked to, whether if they thought it was in an unsafe area or not. Now you can get into all the ins and outs of if that's not safe or whatever, but there are reasons why the police acted the way that they did, and to me it doesn't just seem to be, well, they're black, so we're going to beat them and arrest them just because they're black. Though that's my opinion. Let's actually read what Commander Helen Harper had to actually say, shall we? So she goes on to say, I understand the concern when incidents like this happen and how they can appear when part of it is filmed without context. Due to the concern raised, we conducted a review of the stop. This included social media footage and body-worn camera footage of the officers at the scene. We are satisfied that there are no misconduct issues. Interesting. I will add as well that the IOPC, which is the Independent Office for Police Conduct, also said that they are aware of the matter and would actually like to investigate the matter separately as well. So it's not a case of one police force doing an internal critique and then going, yeah, we didn't do nothing wrong. They're going to have an external force that is just made for assessing how good or how bad the police force operated and conducted themselves. So it wasn't a, well, they did it and they said that they didn't do nothing wrong. It wasn't just a case of that. They've actually used body cam footage, police vehicle footage, as well as social media footage, and have done their own review, and is also going to be externally reviewed as well. So let's get that out of the way, shall we? So in this news story as well, there is also a case of the police coming out and saying that the car themselves was driving erratically, going on the wrong side of the road, and a lot of other instances where the police might have thought that there was a reason to stop the car rather than it just being, oh, I see a black person. I mean, that's literally allegedly what she's claiming, Bianca Williams, is, oh, black person in a blacked out car, we need to stop that person because of racism. Nothing to do with the way that you were driving, nothing to do with the way that you were possibly, maybe allegedly, driving down the wrong way on the wrong road, or why, as even Nick Ferrari in this video that I'm going to play for you very shortly, even states, well, it kind of looks and sounds like you were going down a rat run, which could you not understand why the police might have stopped you? For anybody that doesn't know what a rat run is, when the police are following somebody on a main road, and the car that they're following turns off onto smaller roads, then goes back onto main roads, and then turns off onto smaller roads again, is a way of losing the police. That is what they were appearing to do to the police, even though to Bianca Williams stating that, well, that's just a shortcut that we take. Now, that's fine, and that's probably is correct. I'm not going to dispute that. I think that that is correct, that they probably were just going down their normal shortcuts when traffic is bad. But to the police, that's a reason to think, hang on a minute, are you trying to get away from us without us even noticing? As well, there's a ledge of them doing speed, and again, as in speeding, and again, not stopping when asked, so failing to stop. So now that we've actually got that out of the way, realizing that there is other context to this about actually being stopped, let's have a look and listen to what Bianca Williams has to say to Nick Ferrari at LBC, shall we?
We are joined by Bianca Williams, who is the athlete, indeed a gold medal athlete, who was caught up in this. Bianca Williams, good morning. Thank you for phoning the show. Can you take us through what happened? Hello. Can you take us through?
Good morning. Sorry.
Good morning to you. Can you take us through what happened on Saturday night?
Yes, Saturday afternoon. So I also have my
afternoon.
partner along with me, Ricardo. We were on our way home from training. We had a lunch reservation, booked for 3:00. And we were running late anyway. We had to start the baby. We had to feed him and have to rush to get ready to go and give him to Ricardo's cousin.
Yes.
For them to look after. So as we passed Westbourne Park Station, we go over the bridge, and we then, due to there being a lot of traffic and roadworks, we decided to turn right onto Woodfield Road.
Right. I'm not familiar with that road. That's not breaking the law? You're not going the wrong way down a one-way street?
No, exactly.
Right. No, okay.
And there was a TSG van opposite going in the opposite direction towards the station.
Right. And what happened?
They then give us way.
They then gave you a wave, did you say?
They gave us way.
They gave way, sorry, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, they were in the opposite direction. They then, as soon as we turned right, within seconds, it would be their left. They then turned left.
Yes.
And Ricardo said, I thought it was just, I was like, what a coincidence. Ricardo said they could be possibly following us. So we were...
So where the black Mini Club is, or Countryman is, the black car, as you can see, is turning right. That is the black car turning onto the right, which is going to Woodfield Road. The opposite way is where the police van would have seen them turn right. So now both of them have now just entered Woodman Road. So Woodman Road is to the right. That's where they would have turned right onto it. The police have now just followed them by turning left onto Woodman Road as well. So let's continue with this story so far. So if you remember from the picture before, we were the black Mini Club or Countryman that was just turned into Woodfield Road. This is what we would see as the driver looking down the road. You can see that there is a sign that says that there is no left turn for a little bit down the road to the first left. That is actually a no entry road and a one-way road. So I would like to see where they actually turn and what way that they go, or if she actually explains what way they actually go, whether it was straight on, if they followed it all the way down, or whatnot. It'll be interesting to know.
we didn't really take much notice. We didn't want to accuse the police of following us in any way. So we continued to drive home. But due to there being a lot of traffic in the area because of the roadworks, we then took a shortcut home, and the van was still following us.
Right.
Interesting. So they apparently take a shortcut, but from doing your own little Google bit, the only shortcut from that road is that first left. Otherwise, you have to go all the way down the cobble road to Woodfield GP practice, and that still only goes down to another essence of a road. So, what shortcut is she talking about? I don't know. After all, that is literally the only other road off of Woodfield Road at that point in time, if they're saying that they took another shortcut. Now again, I have not seen any of the footage, so I am only speculating at the minute, and do not take this as gospel truth, but it's amazing what you can do with a Google search.
The road then took us into the high road. We then took a left and a right, and the van continued to follow us.
Right.
There was a set of traffic lights ahead, but we were in a rush to sort out the baby because it's not a quick thing sorting out a baby. You know,
Sure.
You feed them, you change them,
Absolutely.
and pack their bags, get them ready to go. But the traffic light was red, and normally if you wait at the traffic lights, it's about a good 10, 15 minute, 10-minute wait. So we then turned right.
Sorry, did you
And
went
then-
through a red light? Did you?
No.
Sorry. Right.
For simplicity's sake, I'm going to cut this bit out. She and Ricardo did not go past the red light. They saw that the red light was coming up, and they were legally able to turn right before going through the lights or approaching the lights onto another side road. Now, remembering that they are still being followed by police at this moment in time. So if you're a police officer, you see that people are going up to a set of traffic lights, see that it's just turned red, so as a police officer, you notice that this car turns right where you've been following it. Your immediate reaction is going to be, hello, what's going on here then? And you're going to continue on following that car because at that moment in time, it looks and is acting and driving suspiciously. But let's continue. If anybody wants the full context of the interview, it will be posted as always in the link down below. Please go and listen to it at its entirety so you know I haven't missed or mischaracterized anything at all, so you can get the full context of what has been said here.
Went down a single width road,
Yeah.
and the van continued to follow us. We then went round and then back to the main road. That's when they pulled up next to us and tried to get out of the van.
Right.
But Ricardo said it's not safe to stop here. We have a baby in the car. We lived like a stone thrown away, like 20 seconds away. So we decided to continue driving and stop at the house because.
So, regardless about the police thinking that they've been driving in any particular way or doing some sort of form of a rat run to try and lose the police, which now that she's actually explained it, you can kind of see where the police were coming from on this, that you've ducked and weaved left and right to try and get through, in your obviously opinion, to get out and, bypass traffic, which is fair enough and understandable. But to the police, it looks suspicious. To them being pulled over, as in blue lights going, not letting the police actually know that you're moving on, so evading arrest, as in driving when asked to stop by the police, which then is the police giving chase to you that has a child and your missus, as if you're Ricardo, in the car, and you decide that you're going to drive on after the police have asked you to stop and not expect the police to treat you like a criminal after you have been asked by the police to be stopped with the blues and twos going and you driving away. However short the journey is, you failed to stop for the police when advised to, meaning that the police think that you're running from them.
When we just felt a lot safer there, our neighbours were there, and our other car is there. So they didn't think that the car was either stolen, and that we were making up an address. Like the number plates are exactly the same or similar.
Sorry, the number plates are the same. You haven't got two cars with the same number plate, obviously.
We've got similar number plates.
Similar, I see. Okay.
Very similar number plates.
Right. Okay. Right. Why was it not safe to stop where the police initially asked you to stop, do you imagine?
Because it was the middle of the road.
Right.
In the middle of a longer road and coming onto from a minor road coming onto a major road. It's not safe to stop there.
So these Darwin Award winners have decided that when the police asked them to pull over, that they wanted them to somehow stop in the middle of the road, not pull over to the hard shoulder, which people that are asked to pull over on the motorways are asked to pull over to the hard shoulder and get out of the vehicle and step to the side to make sure it's safe, or to actually pull over, in most cases in London, to a curb, to the pavement, so that they can actually be stopped and processed properly. No, these Darwin Award winners are deciding that they're going to drive, mind you, for the next 5 to 10 minutes to try and get home because it may make their case look better. Yes, driving away when asked to stop by the police will make your case look better. Driving away from the police after being told to stop always makes the police think that you're not a criminal, regardless of what you thought. Pull over when asked to stop. Otherwise, the police will treat you as failed to stop and chase you down.
I see. And is it right that it was about 20 seconds that you carried on driving?
Yes, instantly. It was not far, and as soon as we parked up at the house, the van came around. We turned off the car. Within 4 seconds of the van reaching the car, the police were surrounding the car.
Of course, the police would be surrounding you. You failed to stop. At that point in time, the police didn't know that you were going round the corner, as you say, or to your place which isn't far. They just know that you failed to stop, drove on, continued to drive on while Blues and Twos were going, and then you stopped and turned the engine off. That backs up any suspicion that they had for any other suspicious motives, i.e. driving on the wrong side of the road, speeding, or whatever. Because you failed to stop, their suspicions have now increased to the point of them thinking that you were trying to run away from the police because you failed to stop. Not because they thought, oh, you're black. No, you failed to stop. So of course the police are going to surround your car and treat you as criminals and try and find out why you failed to stop. Ladies and gentlemen, this stuff isn't hard, it's common sense. The police want you to pull over, pull over. Don't drive away, you won't be treated as a criminal.
And just to clarify, we'll talk about that in a moment. Did Ricardo, did your partner drive off at speed, as is suggested?
No, we drove off safely.
But not far?
We were never on the wrong side of the road. We don't understand where that came from.
So you're not, but did he go fast?
No.
No, okay, right. So he drives at the regular speed on the right side of the road. You get close to your house, the van stops. What happens next, Bianca?
They then swarm the car. A female officer then shouts, "There's a baby in the car." Ricardo gets out of the car and they instantly drag him away, put him in handcuffs, and then say, "We can smell cannabis." And then I get out of the car because I instantly thought that he was getting arrested, so I panicked. I stepped out of the car and I said, he hasn't done anything. And
except at the point of failing to stop for the police. Now, let's say that you didn't speed, which driving at speed or pulling away at speed doesn't mean that you were driving excess of the speed limit, by the way. It actually means that you pulled away quick. It doesn't necessarily mean driving at speed, but carrying on. The reason why they would have handcuffed Ricardo straight away as well, by the way, is because they do that for the driver, because the driver is the one that is prosecutable, meaning that they need to detain the driver first, because he is the one in control of the vehicle, and any substances or anything that is in the vehicle or on the vehicle or whatever is down to that driver. Now, you again have admitted freely that you, as a partnership, as Ricardo, drove away from the police. That's the reason why they swarmed the car and then arrested Ricardo, for those other reasons that I just lined out. It had nothing to do with the instances of racism. Now again, you could argue the point of the smelling of weed or cannabis, maybe that's a little bit stereotypical, but not anything else at the minute.
No, before they put me in handcuffs, I'm trying to get back into the car because I'm not leaving my son in the car. He's 3 months old. Like it's like my mother instinct just kicked in, and they put me in. They then put me in handcuffs. I'm still filming at this time. They then take my phone out of my hand and put my phone on the chair, and said that they're detaining me under a certain section, and they're going to search the car for drugs and weapons. Right. And I just kept saying, we haven't done anything. Like, you can search the car.
What was happening to your baby?
Right, before that we tackle the baby issue, which is honestly my point of contention in this, and I will give a reasoning or rationale why I think that that's occurred. But the reason why they're stopping and searching you is because of you giving them suspicion of you doing. For one, they say that you were speeding on wrong side of the road, so on and so forth. But the most important thing there is you failed to stop. And you have admitted that you failed to stop. At that point, they are trying to ascertain the reason why you failed to stop. Even though that you've given your reasoning for it, they don't know that you were just living around the corner. They just think that you failed to stop. So, you screaming and shouting you haven't done nothing doesn't do anything for the police, because they hear that 9 times out of 10 for every stop that they've ever done, regardless of if they have something or don't have something. Now, if you would have just calmed down and give them your names and everything else like that, I'm sure it would have gone a lot better. But remember, you failed to stop, which initiated the search and reaction that the police are giving you.
No
weapon. When you're put in handcuffs, what happens to your son?
The baby's still in the car seat. He's still in the car. Like, I wasn't allowed to go near him.
How long were you parted
outside of the car?
How long were you not able to be with your baby, with your son?
It was about 30 minutes, 45 minutes.
Was he asleep through this, or?
No, he was awake.
Gosh, didn't he start crying?
Yes, he did.
I bet. And
he
what
started the fast.
And what was the police reaction when the baby started crying?
They didn't let me go to him. They said that they didn't let me go to him. Even the neighbour suggested that she would go and get the baby for me.
Right.
Sorry.
That's right. No, don't worry. Thank you. Yeah.
And give the baby to me. The officer said no. And I had to say to them, "Can you take the handcuffs off me, so I can go and pick up my son?" And she spoke to me in such a way that I was going to run off, as if why would I run off?
Right.
She said to me, "Listen,
you're not going to run away from your son, are you? You're not going to run away from your baby."
Right, first of all, I agree. A mother's not going to run away from their child. But remember, you have just failed to stop. In the police's eyes, you've been acting suspiciously. And now you're being a little bit panicky about the child. 2 and 2 doesn't always add up to 4, especially when dealing with suspicion, right? So if they're going to think that you may or may not actually even be the parents of said child, they've got to ascertain what is going on, who, what, where and how everything is going on, or the reasons why things are happening. Now, I agree that after a certain time and ascertaining that that's your child, finding out who you are and so on and so forth, the police should have let you go and look after your child. I agree with you. But if that was happening in the instance of, the first parts of whatever this is and whatever happened, then the police, until they find out who and what you are not going to let you see the child, because they don't know if there was a crime committed, that the crime doesn't involve the child himself at that point. So that's my contention on the child issue at this point in time. That, yeah, sure, that it's bad policing and bad community outreach in general, and I completely and utterly with all of you guys on that one. I completely agree. I do think that it is a case of going a little bit too far. They should have, after ascertaining who you were, let you go and spend time with your child, calm the child down, stop the fussing, and so on and so forth. But in the initial outreach, sure, it's a case of they're not going to let you do anything to that child because at that point in time, you know that you're the mum, but they don't know that you're the mum. And as you well know, and as everybody else knows, until they find out who and what is going on, they have to assume that nobody is ascertained with each other or associated with each other, and anything and everything is possibly a crime or criminally related to why you failed to stop.
Exactly.
Right.
And the whole event was just shocking, to be honest. And once I picked up my son, I felt a lot safer. But the neighbours were around asking if we were okay, and us to stay calm.
I mean, I have to ask you, I would imagine the fact that you're such a supremely successful athlete, I suggest you probably don't, but do you use cannabis?
Oh, no, of course not.
No, and your partner doesn't?
Never.
No,
never.
No.
Never.
No, I have to, please don't be offended.
Regularly.
I'm only just have to ask.
No, yeah. We get drug tested regularly.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a pretty crazy thing to do in your game.
Never.
And I understand your partner said, well, why don't you do a drugs test on me now to the police? Is that correct?
Yes, he said that numerous times.
Right.
Look, I love the way that Nick Ferrari and Bianca Williams are coming out of the way that a couple of random police officers are going to know who Ricardo is and know who Bianca Williams is straight off of the fly and actually think, oh yeah, I know them, they're supreme athletes, they wouldn't be doing this. They don't know who the hell you are. To them, you are just random people on the street. Doesn't matter if you're white, black, yellow, pink, blue, whatever. To them, you're random people on the street. They don't have a clue. Though I do agree with you that them stating, oh, I can smell cannabis, is a bit stereotypical and maybe shouldn't have actually been said, if at all it actually was, as I can't actually hear that in the actual video that is posted about them being arrested and how they were arrested. So I don't see that and I didn't hear it, but if it was, definitely stereotypical and definitely a form of stereotyping. So I agree with you on that one. But there's a reason why they were doing what they did, and that's because they don't have a dicky who the hell you are.
And they declined to do it. Okay, why do you think you were stopped?
Because the car is all black and my partner is a black man.
Right, so Nick Ferrari goes into a point of saying, well, don't you think that maybe there's a possibility of the reason why they stopped you was because of suspicious driving, allegedly maybe not speeding, allegedly maybe not driving on the wrong side of the road as going down the wrong way, maybe, something like that. Or maybe, just goddamn maybe, it's the failing to stop that maybe would have been, the initiator of why they started to react the way that they did. You failed to stop and got a reaction that would warrant the police thinking that you were running away from the police for a particular reason. You then started to overreact, saying we did nothing wrong, rather than being calm instance of trying to diffuse the situation. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand that at any point in time these things are scary, and I know rhetoric in itself will lead you down to these roads that you think are happening because of these things, but there is actual reasoning and rationale to why you were stopped and why you got the treatment and reaction that you did. And it wasn't because you were black. It's because the police thought that you were acting suspiciously, but even if you didn't speed, even if you didn't go down the wrong side of the road, though I don't know why the police would lie in that instance, and if they did or are, then they should be completely and utterly drove over the coals over, but you took a rat run, in their opinion, and then once the police pulled up next to you and put on their blues and twos, you drove away. Now, you could argue whether or not it was driven away at speed or whatever, but you drove away. And then when they put the blues and twos on to stop you, you failed to stop. That, in the police's eyes, makes you a criminal regardless and gives you those aspects of being treated as such until they can ascertain who you are. Remembering that the police don't always deal with the genuine article, the genuine people. They generally, when they stop people, will have people that react that way or drive that way when they have something to hide. And that's the reason why the police pulled you over. Not because you were goddamn black. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I don't have too much to say to this, apart from Bianca Williams herself is going to take this to court, and she's going to try to sue the police in this matter and on this matter. I really hope that she does, and I really hope that any evidence there is to her side is proven and is able to go through, and if anything that she says is true, is backed up and is changed. But at the same time, due to the fact of the body cam footage, due to the fact that I imagine the vehicle footage and the actual media footage, I don't really think that she has much chance in this, and most of what she says about being pulled over because she's black is purely and utterly a point of she feels that way, even though that she openly and admittedly states that she failed to stop, which is more than enough for the police to ascertain reason and rationale for acting the way that they did. But with that all being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to take the time to say thank you very much for watching this video. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I bid you farewell, I bid you adieu, take care, and I'll see you all again real soon. Bye bye for now.